Okay, so I don't see anyone on YouTube, but you came all of you came to the class, but still I have to put it on the record so you can also review it later. So I think that we can start. And my name is Dimitri, and I'm assisting Vadim. He just went to vacation, so that's why he asked me to this lesson and maybe some of the next ones. So on the previous lessons, you started to talk about the signs, and you already know about priority signs, right? Do you remember what this means, like giveaway sign, main road, and so on? You also were talking about the prohibitory signs. You know, this round shape with a red background. That means that they are prohibiting something. They are telling you something what you shouldn't be doing. And also, I think that you started to talk about the warning signs, right? This triangle shape. Do you talk about them? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you know that you can understand from the shape of the sign what it means. If it's triangle, that's a warning sign. If it's a round with a red background, it's a prohibitory sign. If there's a round shape with a blue background, it means that how to tell it in English, sign, mandatory sign. Usually there's a sign that means you mandatory direction, which way you could go. And today we'll continue to talk about the other signs. What else do we have? And also we'll speak about the road marking, and we'll speak about the driving modes a little bit later. But now we talk about the special regulation signs. I don't know if any of you have seen something of that. Well, the most common place where you can see that is when you're driving from some other country, you are entering Estonia, and then you see the sign which tells you what rules by default are applied in our country. So here you can already understand that this 50 and this city picture means that in the build-up area, in the city area, there is a speed limit by default 50. And outside of the build-up area it's 90, and it's mandatory to drive with the headlights on 24/7. So in the daytime, in the nighttime, everywhere you have to use your headlamps. What else you can find? You can find in some places there is a sign with the text meeldetuletus, which is a reminder in Estonian, and it tells you that you are driving in the city area where the speed limit is 50, or you're driving in a calm time area with a speed limit 20 by default, and also some other signs which tells you that you are approaching the Estonian state border, so there will be like a checkpoint, and so you be ready for that. This sign, hoia pikivahet, means to keep the safe distance. And also you can find additionally road marking, which shows you what will be the safe distance. So this between two of them is a safe distance for you. Also sign which tells you that actually the road user charge applied on that in that area. What else from these most common places where you can see these special regulation signs is where some construction works, and they tell you that there are some changes in the traffic, and also they can show you for how long, for example 9 kilometers, when it will be ready, or some other information that some of the streets are closed, and also the time period where it's applied, or maybe a sign which tells you that for the big possibility of the traffic jams starting from this period from 11th of May, for example, to 25th of May, 5th of May for 3 kilometers. This sign means tunnel is closed. This means that there is a parking machine, so you can buy your ticket to pay for your parking. And this sign means that that two lanes merges into one, and they show you how to change your lane. It will be in check order, so it means that the cars which are driving on the right side, they have to also to give way for others so they can safely change the lanes. So to understand everything, of course, you have to speak Estonian, but I think that more or less it's logical that if you see some of the signs, you can more or less like understand what's going on. They're simply warning you about some changes in the traffic which are ahead. well, let's make some, okay, yeah, that's not a good example. This is also some special regulation sign. I've seen that in some places in Tallinn, for example, this is showing you how to make a left turn. Well, you can see that left turn on this carriageway crossing is prohibited. So if you want to go left, they simply tell you that go straight, then turn to the right, then again to the right, then one more time to the right, and then you will get the way you want to go to make a left turn. It's called also traffic pattern. And
question.
yeah,
So if there is no restriction to the left, then by default you can turn, right?
yes, exactly. If you don't see any prohibitory sign, you can turn to the left, and you can also make a U-turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one more question to the first slide, when the city or settled area is marked. So does it have to follow with the restricted speed, or if you see the sign of the city or the living area, it's by default means that it's 50, or
It means by default. Of course, there can be some additional sign which tells you, for example, like 30 or 40 or 70 or whatever. Then you have to follow this sign. But if there is no signs, so it means that by default in the city area it's a 50, on the highway it's 90.
so even if they don't put any speed limit, just only the city sign,
Yeah,
that it means that you have to follow them.
exactly. If you see only this sign tells you that you are entering the built-up area, means by default it's 50.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
you have to follow that because as you have seen already on the streets, you don't see much places with a speed limit sign. So because everyone already should know that if you're driving in the build-up area, it will be 50. Okay, and this kind of signs are called information sign, and it shows you also that you are entering some crossroads, some carriageway crossing, and it shows you in which direction the road is coming. So it will be also important for you to learn how to read the sign, because it can happen that on the state exam, the examiner can tell you like not turn right or turn left, but he can tell you that let's go to Vietnam, for example. So you have to check the sign. You can have to see this what sign is telling you where is the turn to the Vietnam, and then drive accordingly. So this can also happen. And what you should know about this sign, well, first of all, you can see they basically look alike, but the only difference is that one are on the white background and the rest of them are on the blue background. And well, it shows where the sign is location. So the white background means that this sign is in the build-up area, so in the city, and the blue background means that it's outside of build-up area, so it means on the highway. So you can see that first and last ones are in the city somewhere, and the middle ones are somewhere on the highway. And what else? Well, this text on the sign. Well, on the first one, it tells you. I can tell you the name of the street. For example, if you turn to the right, you will get to the Kaarli Boulevard. Puiestee means boulevard in Estonian. If you go straight, you will get to the Toompea, the city center. If you turn left, you will get to the Balti Jaam, which is our railroad station in Tallinn. Also, you can have some additional information. For example, you can see that if you're driving a heavy truck, you cannot go straight. The heavy trucks can go only to the right or to the left. And also outside of the build-up area, this second sign tells you that if your truck is heavier than 30 tons, then you cannot go simply straight. You have to turn to the right and drive it from the right side, from the Järvekandi and from the Rapla. Well, important thing also here is to see this the very bottom line, which tells you the destination until the place where this crossroad will be. So if you can see that this 100 meters, that means that this crossroad will be after 100 meters. And this one means that it will happen after 400 meters. Here you can see after 500 meters, and here is after 150. And why it's important to understand, I can show you one very popular place on the exam. on the state exam, and it's very common that when you will be driving and before the sign, the examiner can tell you that let's go to somewhere. Well, you can look at the sign, you can see that somewhere is you have to turn to the right, but there is a text below which tells you that actually this will happen after 800 meters. So,
sorry, if
yeah.
you are on the left lane, then you need to change the lane and then
Yes.
turn to the
Yes, but you know what common mistakes students make if they understand that they have to go to somewhere to turn to the right, they change the lane, they go to the right lane, and they think that this turn is somewhere very, very close. If they skip this text like 800 meters, you can see that okay, we see that here is some turn, and they showing right indicator, and they start to turn here to the right side. Yeah, somewhere here, but then they understand that actually that's not the correct turn, because you remember the text was telling you that after 800 meters.
800
Yeah,
meters.
and they've said 100 meters is much more far away than this place. It's like 100
You
meters.
cannot use the Waze.
No, on exam, no. Only examiner can tell you where to go. In some places, yeah, they can tell. He can tell you like exact direction, like go left or go right, or he can tell you just the
But we
name
don't know
of the
the
city.
streets.
Hmm?
We don't know the streets.
Well, you have to know how to read the sign. So you see, after 800 meters, that it means that
No,
you
I
have
know
to
that, but the
yeah.
thing is,
Mhm.
he can say take that street.
Hmm?
There should be another sign for
Yeah.
the
There should be
city
another sign.
turn.
If he can tell you just simply direction, if you
Yeah.
see that it's after 800 meters, so it means that there should be definitely another sign with the same information. So the correct will be, yes, you told exactly that, change the line to the, take the right lane, and then go straight and try to find where is that place where you have to make a turn to the right.
They
So-
don't pay attention to the sign and just they turn on the first turn.
Yeah. And you see that okay, there is another one, definitely that doesn't look like this correct
Yeah.
what we are looking for, and we see that this is another sign which tells us that turn to the subway is here. So this will be correct place where you have to take the right lane and then turn to the right.
And you get failed as well if you turn the wrong way. I mean, if they say turn left and you turn right, for example, then they fail you on the state exam as well, right?
Well,
stories.
yes, because the simple directions, okay, you have to understand them, yeah.
Yeah.
But usually, if you make like a very small mistake, like let's say you missed that turn, and if you just keep on going straight, okay, that would not be good, but still, I think that they can navigate you how to drive to the right direction.
Not
Yeah.
reverse driving on
Yeah.
the highway.
Yeah, the problem will be what means the failure will be if you, for example, if you change the lane, for example, to the right one, and then you understood that actually you have to go to the straight, and you have to change the lane here, whereas it's a solid line. We will speaking about the road markings later, but still, you know that solid line means that you cannot change the lane here. So if you make this mistake, then that will be a failure. But if you just miss your turn, if you keep on driving, they will still navigate you how to go to the right direction.
But could you please go a bit
Yep.
back, because now
Mhm.
like where is the sign? It's like yeah, we can continue somewhere from there. So because where was this already the sign
Mm-hmm.
of the turn? It was already a solid line. So then it doesn't give you the option to.
Yeah, well, we have also this sign. I didn't show you, but here it is actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this sign means that this is actually the correct place where you have to change your lane and take the
Okay.
maximum right lane. So showing there, yeah, this is the place to go to somewhere. And before that, I agree that if you get to that point, yes, it tells you that that's okay. It's already late to change the lane, because there is already so late. But yeah, as you see, there's if they put this sign like 800 meters, so 1 kilometers before the turn, so actually you will have time, because there will be some other times, some other signs with the same information, so you will find this way. So this below bottom text is very important, and outside of the build-up area there will be a number of the cities. So you see Tallinn, Viitna, Võsu, these are all like either cities or small villages, and in the city area you can see this name of the streets, and also maybe some other places like airport, for example.
And is there any common rule how early they put this sign?
Starting from
arranged?
like 1 kilometer, 1 kilometer before, if you're driving on the highway, the high speed usually, but as I said, there will be some other duplicating signs which with the same information. So this is like first sign for you, just to warn that there will be some other turns, so you can at least like change the lane and be ready. Start to looking for other signs which tells you the exact information. Okay, so here is also the same sign. If you turn to the right, you'll get to Saue. If you pass the bridge below and then turn to the right, you will get to Narva, Tartu. Or also to the right side, the road leads to Keila, Paldiski. And if you go straight, you will get to Pärnu and to Haapsalu. Also, in some places you can see the same sign with the same logic for the roundabouts. For example, here is we see that there will be roundabout ahead after 150 meters, and again the examinator can tell you like let's go to Harku, for example, so you can start counting the exits. That will be first exit, second exit, and third exit. So you already see that on the third exit you have to exit the roundabout and go to that place. The examinator will tell you. And these are small information signs. Usually these are located just before this crossroads, so in that very last moment where you have already before you have to already to take the right lane, and now you can only make a like left or right or turn or go to the straight. And they have the same information, the same logic, that blue ones are on the highway outside the build-up area, white are in the city area, and this brown means that there is some cultural place, like this Urvaste kirik. Kirik means church, so some cultural monument or some point of interest, and they are actually like marked with this brown color. And what else? Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah.
For the road for the road numbers, are there any logic behind, or you just
Yes.
need to remember which
Yes,
one is?
I will tell you a bit later about them. But now I'll also tell you what else you can see. Okay, here is also some information signs, and you don't see these arrows, so it shows you only the distance before the Riga, which is Riga in Estonian, Pärnu, Haapsalu, and also name of the road which leads there. So also the black one is for the private roads. So if you see the sign, you can see that you can go to the Reinu, for example, but it's a private road, so you need a special permission before you can use it. And also they can have the same signs for the bicyclists, for example, below, and also for the bicycles and pedestrians. So these are for the bicycle lanes and for the pedestrian roads. And also this in the middle, this Maantee-amet, you can see it's looking quite weird. It has blue letters and blue background, blue frame and white background, and it shows you some of the organization. For example, the Maantee-amet is road administration, is the place where you'll be taking your state exam and theory exam also. Yeah, you can see this. Name of the place, 641, name of the road, name of the river, name of some private property like Talu is a farm, and also some tourist site. And then coming back to your question about these road numbers, these well, first of all, let's try to separate them, because these small ones, this blue one 235, it means the kilometer sign. It's not a road number, it's just counting the kilometers after the Tallinn. So this sign is located 235 kilometers away from the Tallinn, and they are located every kilometers. And the rest of one, yes, these are the road numbers. and there is a logic behind them. So first of all, let's start with the green ones. The green ones are international roads. So these are roads which are not only in Estonian, but they can start in some other country. For example, like in Finland, they go through Finland, through Estonia, through Latvia, Lithuania, and they can finish somewhere maybe in the Czech Republic or somewhere else. So these are big international roads. We have few of them, maybe 4 or 5, I can't remember exactly. So these are E, and green color means international. And then second priority is the red ones. Red ones are the national roads, so they are quite often they come on the same road where international is. So you can see, for example, sign E77, and just right to it this red one 2, which means that actually it's the same road. So according to Estonian register, these are regional national road number 2, and according to international register, it's international road E77, which can be the same road. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then next priority is the white ones. The yellow ones. For example, 58. These are regional road. These are usually more narrow. They are for the less speed, because these red ones and the green ones are usually like the best quality of the road, so you can drive with the maximum allowed speed. They're usually straight. There is no many turns on that, so you can see road ahead. And in the winter time, these green and red ones, they are cleaned first of all as a top priority. And then like some regional roads also are white, so these are usually with the worst quality, let's say. And so if you have an option how to choose them, so for example, if you know that you want to go to the Tartu, you can go different ways, but it's better to use these green or red ones. Of course, if you're going to some small village and you don't have any other options, you have to agree with this yellow or white ones. So is it understandable for you? More or less, yeah.
Yeah, but then these numbers are given ahead, like from 1 to whatever is the last number in red, because Estonia is owning this road.
Yeah.
And they gave some logic behind which one is 1 and which one is...
Yeah, definitely. There is a logic. Well, for example, road number 2, this is going from Tallinn to Pärnu, if I remember properly, or from Tallinn to Tartu. Yeah, so there is a logic behind them, but I think that if you're looking on the map, it's better to use road map, and all the numbers of the road are given there. So you don't need to remember all of them, because there's too many roads, and it's simply impossible to memorize everything.
Colors is better to
Yeah.
differentiate.
Yeah, and one more thing I want to tell you, that if you are looking on this frame, you can see in some signs you have a solid frame, like black or white, and in some of them there is a breakable line, like here below, for example. And there is also logical behind that. Well, let's say this top of them with the solid frame, this means that this turn and this road is starting just after the turn. So if you turn like here on this crossroad to the left, you will get immediately to the road E20. And these below ones with the breakable line, that means that this road is not started just after that crossroad, but there will be another crossroad. If you turn, for example, left, there will be another crossroad where you can go to this road E20. Do you understand that?
So remembering, like giving you information in advance.
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, exactly. And for example, like let's take the same picture. So you can see that if you're after 800 meters, if you turn to the right, you will get to the road road number 11, which goes to Keila and Saue. And after that will be another crossroad where you can go to the road number 8, which leads you to Paldiski. And also, if you go straight, you actually already are on the road number 4, which brings you to Pärnu. and which is again at the same time, which is an international road E67. So if you're driving ahead, so you can go to the Czech Republic, to the Prague. It will end in the Prague. And there will be also another crossroad ahead where you can turn to the road number 9, which leads you to Hapsalo. And also the same logic. So if you turn to the right and go after the across the bridge, so you will get to the road number 11, and there will be some other crossroads where you can go to the road number 1 to Narva and to the road number 2 to Tartu. So usually these numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, these are for the major cities connected with the Tallinn. So road number 1 is from Tallinn to Narva, road number 2 from Tallinn to Tartu, also very, very important cities, big ones. Road number 4 is from Tallinn to Pärnu. Okay. Well, nowadays most of people use the navigators, the Waze or the Google Maps, so they don't have to memorize that. So it's just simply for you to know which is the logic behind them. Also, information signs can be for the special transport. So, for example, I already shown you signs for the pedestrians, for the bicyclists, and you can see signs for the trucks which are heavier than 8 tons, for example, or for the transport which carries the dangerous goods, let's say. So you can see the sign, it tells you that mandatory direction, but it's not for you if you're driving the regular small car. It's only for the cars which are heavier than 8 tons or carrying the dangerous goods or someone else. So these are special signs. So if you see of them, so you can simply ignore that. Okay, you have to understand what it means, but you have to understand also that it's not for you, it's for the special transport, and it's also said which exactly the special transport where it applied. Or there can be some special signs for the buses, for example, mandatory direction for the bus. Buses can go on the straight, can turn only to the right, or can turn only to the left.
This could be also any public transport, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's also can be not only bus, but also some other transport like trolleys and so on. And it can also be some temporary signs if there will be some public event. For example, you see the motocross or rally, so they also put these temporary signs. So if you, for example, you are going to that place, to that event, so you can also, it helps you to navigate. For example, this sign tells you that if you go straight, there will be parking if you want to attend to this some local farm and some event. I think most important for you will be this red one, these yellow ones. These are signs warning you that there will be some construction work, and due to that the road is closed. So for example, if you want to go to the Pärnu, you have to go in some other place, way. For example, you know that the streets you're driving, if you drive straight you should get to the Pärnu, but if you see that sign, you have to understand that no, actually you have to turn to the right, to left, or where the sign leads you, and then you can get, because there's some construction work and the road is closed ahead. So it's a detour sign, yeah, diversion road. Or for example, like this one, it shows you more specifically that road ahead is closed, so you have to go to the left first and then get back to the road, or use some other detour scheme in order to get in the place where you want. Well, this is one example. You can even see that some construction works are happening, so that's why they closed that area. And if you want to go to that place, you cannot simply turn here to the right, but you can go. You should go straight and then turn to the right. So usually this yellow color is for some temporary signs, and these are warning you that there are some changes in this road traffic and in some. Or for example, like here, so you can see they closed due to construction work. They closed 2 lanes, and they've also put some warning sign, and there will be information sign which tells you that how you should drive in order to get in the place where you want. Or vice versa, the sign which tells you that road ahead construction is finished, so you can go back to your own lane. It can also be for the pedestrians. Well, for example, like in this summer it was quite popular to put some place, because they actually change everything. Yeah, there will be in the whole city there was a huge construction work, so that's why they also use a lot of these signs for the pedestrians. Yeah, because you could not simply walk anywhere where you wanted, but you have to follow the special rules and check the special signs. Yeah, and this also. Regularia in Estonian or traffic controller in English means that there will be some traffic controller who will be actually this controlling and regulating the traffic ahead. So you have to be very careful to notice him and to see what is shown. Can you go, or maybe the road is closed, maybe you have to stop. Okay, what else we have from information signs? If there will some signs which warning you about the direction of bend, sharp deviation of road to left to the right, or some warning fence. So for example, you can see, and they also using the red color just to point your attention that something is, for example, there used to be a street here, so you can simply go straight, go through that, but now they changed that and they put also the sign which tells you that no, you cannot go straight, you have to turn to the left or to the right. Or for example, like it's shown here, it tells you that there is a sharp turn in front of you, so you have to slow down because you cannot simply drive here like 50 or even 40, so you have to be very careful because it's quite narrow road and it's goes to the left, so you have to be very careful so to avoid accident.
Sometimes these roads are when you go like also down.
Yeah, downhill or uphill maybe. Yeah. There's also some just a warning for you. So if you see any of that sign, you have to first of all you have to slow down and check carefully what's ahead and how to drive there. Also, branch road tells you that there is some dangerous place where the road is going into two, like in fork. For example, here is one of them. And if you check the previous slide, you can see that it can be the blue color and red color. So basically they means the same, but only difference is that the red color means that you have to definitely slow down and don't go faster than 50 kilometers per hour, because usually they are on the highways. And blue ones means that okay, it's up to you to choose the speed. But usually it's not that sharp, so you don't have to slow down so much. Or for example, see this one is red, and you can see it goes quite sharply to the right. So it's better to slow down, and the sign tells you that definitely go less than 50 kilometers per hour, because otherwise you maybe cannot simply turn.
But that sign applies which road?
It's applied usually on the highway. Yeah.
But they place a sign mainly to the right to the road, or also could be left?
No, they can just put the sign in the place where the road is divided into two. So you can see, well, the previous example, let's go a little bit back so we can check this, make it more understandable. So you can see we have like one lane, and we see that road is divided into two, so it goes straight and it goes to the right.
Yeah.
So in that case, yeah, in the place where it is divided into two and this traffic island, they put this kind of sign.
And this applies to both the right and to the left as well?
Yeah. So in that place, it's also it's more advised also to slow down even if you go straight. Okay. And also, well, here is some other sign. Yeah. But actually, no, sorry, I didn't tell quite exactly. So it's all applies only if you make a turn. So for example, like here, you can see if you go straight, you don't have to slow down, because straight everything is okay. Yeah. But if you are making a turn, in that case, yeah, you have to slow down. Or for example, here is another example. So we can see this is a blue sign, and that tells you actually, yeah, there's also road that will be divided into two, but you don't have to slow down because you can go with your regular speeds. Well, if it's 90 kilometers per hour is allowed, so you can go with 90, nothing bad's gonna happen. The meaning is more or less the same. Also for the construction works, if there are some temporary limitations for like here, so they didn't have time to paint this road marking, so that's why they put the sign, and basically that means the same. It's just the edge of the carriageway, so it's just simply showing that here is the place the road ends, and also here is the traffic island, so you cannot cross this area. Sign telling you that there is a speed bump ahead. Designation of the post with a traffic sign. Well, for example, like here, you can see this place. It's a speed bump, so you have to slow down, not to damage your car. And also plenty of the information signs. Most of them are quite logical, but I think it's good for you just to do some homework, also to check them once again, because there is a lot of them. Well, for example, the first one tells that first aid station, first aid, emergency aid, police station, information, tourist information point, place you can use the phone, or the post office, access to the internet, radio station, place of interest, tourist attraction, and the customs clearance, for example. And also you can see that it can show you where exactly it's located and how far. For example, if you go to the left, after 300 meters, you can see this place. Filling station, and also you can use some special letters. For example, if you use gas in your car, it also can tell you exactly like LPG gas or CNG gas. Or maybe if you have a drive electric car, also can show you that's not an ordinary filling station, but the place where you can charge your electric car. Breakdown service, car wash, washing facilities, multi-story parking, restaurant place. And also you can go with additional panels. So usually if you see any kind of additional panels, it's better to read the sign from top to the bottom. Because here you can, if you check the construction, you can see that this sign tells us that it's a breakdown service. It's called Re-up Transport. It's located 2 kilometers to the right, and it's only for the trucks. So with a small car you cannot go because they are servicing trucks. And it's open from 8 in the morning till 6 in the evening. So you can see if you read any kind of sign with additional panels from top to the bottom, it's quite easy to understand what it is exactly.
And that information, for instance, this service center,
Yep.
it's most likely is it like a private service center, right?
Yeah.
So for the even for the private service center, government is responsible for putting the signs up, or the service center provider has to put those signs.
Well, that's a good question. Actually, I think that it's only in the most critical ones, for example, in the case of trucks, because many of the trucks coming from other countries, they can go from anywhere, and of course they don't know like local places, so for them it's really important. Also, if you're driving outside of the build-up area somewhere on the highway, it may be also critical for you to find a service place, and that's why in that places they also put this one. But in the city, usually they are not using them. Only this owner of their service, he can put his own label, not this road sign, but only the labels, because in some places you can find at one spot there can be 3 or 4 service places, so of course you cannot use 3 or 4 road signs for that. Yeah, so only in the places where it's critical, the government is responsible just to warn you, because maybe if there is in 10 kilometers there is no any other service around, so that's why the information can be critical. On in this. Okay, what else? Coffee place, hotel or motel, toilet, lavatory, dry toilet, motor vehicle registration center, technical inspection station. Let's check what we have here. For example, like this again, there will be road administration, the place where you will start your theory and driving exam, and place where you finish also. So after when you will be finishing your driving exam, so you can see the sign, well, that will be means that you almost passed, because it's 200 meters to the right, and you can find this place.
It's in Mustamäe, right? It's in Mustamäe.
Yeah, exactly, in Mustamäe. What else? Youth hostel, recreational camping site, accommodation, boarding house, caravan sites. For example, these can be useful if you travel with your car and you find looking for a place where you can stay with your caravan house. Rest area, picnic site, if you are looking for some special place. Starting point for walks, starting point for cycling, hiking trail, starting point for ski trail, a beach, swimming area, and also some viewing area. So you can see this sign, it's not some kind of explosion, it's just showing you place where you can go sightseeing. And I've seen the sign in many places, for example in some hills where you can just look around. There is a nice place and you can check what's happening. Well, for example, like this one. So I think that you can already read all that construction. So what you see here? Tell me.
It's you need to drive 30 kilometers.
Yeah, 30 kilometers drive area. So that means that everywhere you go, even if you turn some other street, everywhere after that sign there is speed limit 30 kilometers per hour. What else?
The track with 8 ton is not allowed. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Track heavier than 8 tons not allowed.
And the beach.
Yeah. Yeah, so road goes to the beach, and I think that you can also see that in the picture that somewhere is the sea already seen. Yeah. Okay, what else? Fishing place, rural enterprises, sports ground, sports hall, golf house, horse riding center. You can see everything of that. Or it can also be combination of several services. For example, like place with a camping site, caravan site in the same place. In Lager, if you make a right turn and drive 500 meters, or some other combinations like factory, parking for the trucks, or filling station, for example. Well, for example, let's try to read this one, what it tells us.
Petrol station.
Yeah.
Cafeteria. Cafe place and this car washing.
Yeah, and you see it's everything in one place. It's called the Circle K, and it's after 800 meters if you go straight.
And you enter to populated area.
Yeah, that's another sign. Yeah. Okay. So it means that after you see that sign, you have to automatically you have to follow 50 kilometers per hour, not driving faster than that. Okay, now the additional panels. But before we go, I ask you if there is some questions about this information signs. See, these are quite logical and quite easy to read. Just maybe some of this information may be confusing, but in general, what you need to know that it's simply informing you about some place. So if you are looking for some specific, you can find it from the sign, the direction.
I have one question about the speed. So basically, it is restricted not to be over, let's say, 50 in this case because it's a city. But what is the minimum speed that you can drive, or there are no minimum speed?
Well, it's depending everything on the road condition. Usually on the exam, they want you that you have to drive with the maximum allowed speed. So if you're going straight and you know that their speed limit is 30, so it's more or less like 28, 29, like 30, it's okay. But of course, before you turn, you have to slow down because you will not be turning in the speed 30, obviously, if it's a quite narrow one. And of course, in the winter time when the road is slippery, also again, you have to pick up the safe speed. So it will be up to you. Or maybe in case if there is a heavy rain or maybe snowing or maybe fog weather, so you have to also pick up the safe speed. So everything is depending on the condition, but usually is the road condition is okay, the weather condition is okay. If you're going straight, try to keep the maximum allowed speed, like 30
and
in that case.
The range, like of course when you're driving a car and if it's manual, it is less likely to fully control the upper bound. So basically you can exceed some margins.
Well, on exam, well, up to 5 kilometers will be okay, but not faster than that, because 32, 33, that doesn't mean that you will fail your exam. But if you are driving like 40 or 50, that will be obviously like a mistake and you will fail on the exam.
But you shouldn't drive, let's say, less than 10 kilometer per max speed allowed if the road allows you.
Yeah.
Mainly as a recommendation, right?
Yeah.
So,
So
for
it's
50 road,
mhm.
you shouldn't drive 30 if the road gives you the possibility to be
Exactly,
faster.
and also on the highways there will be some places where the speed limit will be changing. So, for example, you start driving 90, then will be speed limitation 70. You have to slow down
Mhm.
up to 70. But when it's allowed to drive again 90, you have to speed up and keep this
Mhm.
90. Yeah. So plus or minus like 5 kilometers per hour is okay, and of course slow down in case you have where you have to make a turn or the road condition tells you that you have to slow down in that case. Yeah, but try to keep maximum allowed speed that case. Okay, what else? Additional panels. Additional panels usually comes with the signs, and as you see, it can be also with the information signs, also with the signs of mandatory direction, and they shows you usually the area of application or some other conditions, maybe some time period, some day period where the sign is working. So also again you have to read from top to the bottom. First check what the sign is telling us, and then check what the additional panel is telling us, and then you can understand how to use this. Let's try with the easiest one. We can see that the speed limit maximum 30 kilometers per hour, and we can see also additional panels, and these two double arrows and the distance this tells us area of application for how long after the sign it is applied. So for example, here we can see that 100 meters after the sign it's area where you should drive 30 kilometers per hour.
And after that, there is a sign with this.
No, they will not sign. Only this additional panel. So after 100 meters, you have to understand that okay, you can drive again 50, for example. Yeah. So you have to check also the distance. Of course, no one will be counting these meters exactly. So if you're driving a little bit plus or less, like couple of meters, that will be okay for you. But in general, like 100 meters, I think you can understand how long it is. Yeah. So you have to. So there will be not another sign. You have to read only this one and understand that. Just slow down only for 100 meters. After that, you can go with your regular speed. What else? If you see only one arrow and it's pointed down, that means that 10 meters. In that case, that 10 meters after that sign it applies. And for example, if it's pointed down, that means that 10 meters before that sign, this one is applied. For example, here we can understand that no standing and no parking 10 meters before that sign. And here we can see that, for example, 10 meters after the sign. And again, if you see simple arrows, arrow pointed down, that means before the sign. Because usually if it's after the sign, they don't put this one, or maybe if it's before and after, then they can use this kind of arrow. And before the sign, what do you think if we are in the city area where the parking will be allowed again? So for example, we can see the sign no parking and arrow pointing down. It means that after the sign we can park, but before that we cannot. And where it will end? What is cancelling?
Somewhere the bus stop or something.
Crossroad is cancelling. Yeah. So in the city area, the crossroad is cancelling the sign. So if you can see simply no standing, no parking, it will be valid until the next crossroad. If you see no standing and no parking and arrow pointed down, that means that before the sign till next crossroad.
Before or after the sign?
Depends on the arrow.
Yeah, if it's pointed down, that means before. If it's pointed up, that means after. If it's pointed up and down, that means before and after. Or if there is a simply sign with no arrow, it means by default after the sign.
Okay, so if it's just down, it's before till
Yeah.
the first crossroad.
Yeah, exactly. And if there is no additional panel, it means by default after.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's try to read this one. What it says.
It says like
No entry. Okay.
And
What
100
else?
meters,
Hmm?
400 meters.
If you can check this additional panel, there is no arrows, so that means that after 100 meters. So after 100 meters, there will be place where it's no entry, and what else?
There's no entry for trucks.
For trucks. Okay, so if you are driving a small car, what do you think? Can you go?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. You can go. If you're driving a small car, you can go because it's only after only for the trucks. And why it says 100 meters? Because it means that there will be another place, another space where trucks can make a U-turn and can go back. So trucks can go through, but then they have only 100 meters space where you can make a U-turn. Okay, let's try to read this one.
It's like a 10-ton vehicles are not allowed, yeah?
It's only this trailer, yeah. So if your trailer is heavier than 10 tons, it's not allowed, yeah.
In 1.2 kilometer.
Exactly.
It's not allowed.
Mm-hmm.
And 30 tons, yeah? 30
Yeah.
ton is not allowed.
Yeah.
800 meters.
Yeah. So all the trucks which are heavier than 30 tons, they have to make a U-turn because after 800 meters, they simply cannot enter. And also the trailers which are heavier than 10 tons, they cannot go farther than 1.2 kilometers. Mm-hmm.
In 40.
And 40 speed limit.
It's 40.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a speed limit because there is no T letter, so it means that there is only speed limit. Okay, also some for example, so the additional panels, here what the sign is telling us.
It's no parking allowed.
Yes.
Understanding.
Not parking, but you can see we have additional panel which tells us like 25 meters to the left. So it means that to the right from the outside you can see you can easily park, and there is even parking spots, so not a problem. You can park your car, but 25 meters left to that sign, no parking. But it tells us that you can make a stop. You can stand because it's only one line. And for example, like this one, what it tells us.
It's no entry on the right.
Yeah.
You
So,
need to drive straight.
yeah, straight, or you can also make a left turn, or you can make a U-turn because it's not prohibited. We don't see any other signs about that. Okay, or for example, like here. So here is the place. You see simply the sign. It tells us no entry. No, you cannot go. But here we have additional panel, so it tells us that you have 100 meters to the right. There will be no entry, so you can still go straight. But for example, at that spot, you can make a left turn, or you can make a U-turn and can go back.
For instead of that one, they can put also like cross the turn sign, right?
Yes, if it's just after this carriageway crossing, so they can put, but you can see they have also some of the territory for the road where you can go. So that means that you can make a right turn, but you have to make a U-turn before that place. So that's why in that case they will put the sign. And here is also example with the additional panels. So you can see let's imagine we have a crossroad here. So you can see this arrow pointed down means that before the sign you cannot stand, you can park, and after crossroad is cancelling that. So all that space is prohibited for the standing and for the parking. And here we can also see another example, simply sign, it means after that, then arrow pointed down before the sign, or this double arrow means before and after the sign. And this crossroad is cancelling only if you are in the city area, because on the highway, there should be some other sign which tells you that this previous one is cancelled.
But over here on the left, it's the first sign that would cancel, and the most bottom one. This cancels the like this.
Well, it's simply example because usually they are not cancelling in that case, yeah.
Too many signs.
Well, actually, but in some cases, it's actually cancelling, yeah. So yeah, usually if you see that this sign, that means that before that you can go, even if it's you can park your car even if it's no crossroad, yeah. Okay. Also additional panel with this distance. It tells that 10 meters after the sign you cannot park, and for example, like here 10 meters before the sign. Same logic. Well, 10 meters is like a length of, let's say, 2 big cars in general. Yeah.
And those distances basically fixed, or they could put any whatever they want.
No, they could put anything, maybe 15 meters, 20 meters,
Okay.
but usually they don't use this big numbers because it's well 10 in case its distance is very long, like for example like 10 like 100 meters, it means that it's better to put two signs. One is telling that no parking, and another one which is canceling that. Okay, some additional panels also can warn us about, for example, dividing strip, or tells us that there is electric car charger, or this first one means that traffic light maximum cycle length. So, for example, if you're approaching the traffic lights and if you see that the red light is for such a long time, so this warning can tell you that it's not broken. Actually, it can be last up to 3 minutes. Direction of effect, well, we checked that before. Direction of right of way traffic or priority roads. So usually this one will comes also with the giveaway sign or with the main road sign. So it tells us where the main road goes, in which direction. And also on giveaway to the cyclist on cycle track, use the sign giveaway. Also tells us that bicyclists in which direction they can go. For example, this last one is a two-way cycle traffic, or oncoming cycle traffic on one-way road, or just intersection with the cycle traffic. And these additional panels are quite interesting ones. It tells us the time period where this sign is applied. For example, this first one tells us that this sign is working or on weekends or on national holidays. Next one is tells us the sign is working on the working days, or maybe some specific day. For example, esmaspäev is Monday, or maybe some time period, or maybe a combination of them, like on weekends or national holidays from 8 till 8. For example, we can check one situation. So what do you think the sign is telling to us?
So it's going to right.
Yeah, mandatory to go right. Yeah.
Mandatory to go right
Hmm?
is working only from 9 to 19 working days.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it means why they put this sign, because it's a quite intensive traffic on the working days, and that's why it's not good if you make a left turn, because you will be just blocking the others. So that's why on the working days where a lot of cars with intensive traffic, they say that you can only go right. But on the evening time, on the night time, or maybe on the national holidays or weekends, you can also make a left turn here. It's not prohibited. And this sign with showing us direction of the main road. As I told you, it usually comes with the giveaway sign, or maybe with the main road sign, and it tells us that main road is, in that case, it's going in this direction, so from right to the top, or maybe from top to the right. So all the others have to give way to the cars which are driving on the main road. Now, for example, like here, so you can see that there is a giveaway sign, and also it tells us how the main road is going. So it's going from the left to turning to the left. Okay, so these additional panels usually they come with a speed limitation. So for example, on the left one, it tells us for how long is the speed limitation for 100 meters. Or usually these arrows they come with this no standing or no parking signs. So for example, like here, so before the sign you cannot park, and before and after sign you cannot park. And what do you think about this one? What it tells us? Yeah. Okay. Try.
You need to go straight on working days
Yeah.
between, what is it, 8 and 5?
8 and 5, right?
Yeah.
And the last one?
Last time it's not that great, but there's a bus line going there, because I go there every day, so is it that there's a bus passing?
A long time.
Yeah, this välja arvatud in Estonian it means except for. So except for the buses. So buses can also make a left turn in that case. All the rest ones have to go only straight. So if you're driving a regular like, small car, you can go only straight on the working days from 8 till 5. And but for the buses there is exception, so buses can also make a left turn. Yeah. So this välja arvatud means in Estonian that except for.
They're probably going to change that area now. So.
Yeah, they are changing this area, so it will be totally different soon. But so far it's the old sign. Okay, what else we have from additional panels is the parking method. It can tells us that it's first of all it's applied only for the motorcycles, for the regular small cars, and the D1, which are small buses, and it shows us and also it applies if your car is shorter than 6 meters or quite long, like stretch limousine. They are not working for them, and also if you are not carrying the trailer behind you, and it basically shows you how to park. So first one shows that park in diagonal. This one shows you that you have to park on this pavement, and this one tells you that nose to the border, or back to the border, or maybe one wheel at the pavement, at the pedestrian line, or maybe on that. Different combinations can be. So it is usually occupied with the parking sign, so it just tells us how to park exactly. And also regarding the parking, there's plenty of these different additional panels. So first of all, it tells us that parking with the engine switched off only, so you cannot park with the working engines. This one tells us that there is a paid parking, free charging services, and parking with the time limits. For example, you can park only from 8 to 6, and in the rest time you have to get the car off of that place. It's not allowed to park outside of this time period, or maybe parking maximum for the 30 minutes, or maximum for the 30 minutes in certain time period, or the combination like here, that paid parking and not longer than 30 minutes, and like this one. And maybe parking only for the disabled people, or vehicle inspection site. So if you see any kind of this parking limitations, like duration of parking or maybe certain time periods, so definitely you have to use this special clocks, put it on the dashboard, and so you indicate your when you start your parking time.
One question, sorry, like regarding disabled people.
Yeah.
So the place. So disabled person should be in this case the driver or the one which can be in the car.
Can be both driver or one of the passengers. But anyway, you have to use the special permission, and you have to put it on the dashboard to indicate that there is disabled people on board. It can be driver or can be one of the passengers. So without that, it doesn't count. Even if you are driving some of the disabled person, for example, he's a passenger on board. Anyway, you have to have a special permission for that.
So after the park, you need to put on your.
And if there is some time limitation, definitely you have to use. All the time you have to use this special clocks, put it on the dashboard, because otherwise, even if you left your car only for the 5 minutes, it can be hard to prove that later, so you will get a penalty for that. Also some other signs restriction related to the permissible maximum mass, this one 881. Lane indication, well, lane indication usually applies with some other sign. For example, if you're driving on this lane, you have to give way. Maybe for other lanes, like on the right one or left one, there is no such limitation, but on that specific lane there is. For the blind people, blind pedestrians, wet road, icing, safe height under overhead electric cable, available width, risk of accident, and as I told you, this välja arvatud text means that except. So usually it tells us that this sign is not applied for some specific transport. Well, in that case, it's for the buses. Well, here is a. Let's try to read this one. The first one. What do you think? What it tells us?
Are
Okay.
You can park with payment up to 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Let's take the next one. Maybe you want to try.
Yeah, turning to the right on
Ah.
the work days from 8 to 8, like morning to evening.
Well, yeah, mandatory to go right,
Yeah.
and only on the working days from 8 to 8.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Next one will be for you. So, what do you think?
Buses no left.
Exactly. Buses no left, and this one.
Forbidden to go
Yeah,
left
the
or
same.
right
Buses.
No. There is a big difference. This one you told correctly. Buses cannot turn to the left, but the next one,
buses can?
it's vice versa. Only buses can
Only
go to
buses
the left, and the
Ah.
rest ones not, because this väljärvatud it's except. So no turning
Except
to the left except for the buses.
Okay.
Okay, let's take the next ones.
Mandatory speed is 30.
Mm-hmm.
There's a danger of crashes.
Yeah, because of the risk of the accident. Yeah, exactly. Okay, next one.
Slippery road.
Yeah, slippery road when it's raining.
Right.
When during the rain, this place is specifically very slippery. Okay, this one.
Mandatory street and give way to.
No. This is not mandatory. Remember, I told you that mandatory signs they have a round shape. So, and usually the students are mixing this sign with the mandatory direction sign.
This is recommended.
No, it's not recommended. It's a one-way road, and it's very important to learn this thing because you see this mandatory direction. They have the round shape, like here. This one. This tells us the mandatory to go right. And if it's have a rectangle, like square shape,
One way.
it means the one-way road, and it's totally different sign because it's working totally different. It doesn't tell you mandatory direction. You can turn to the right, to the left. You cannot make the U-turn. You can go only to the straight because that's a one-way road. And in that case, this additional panel tells us that
For the bicycles and the people, they can come.
yeah, the bicycles of the people they can go in both ways. Yeah, but the cars only in one-way road. But of course, they can make a right or left turn from that road. And this one.
For bicycles?
Yeah,
Bicycle way,
Yeah, it's for this is only for the bicycles. Yeah, because you see this mandatory sign, so it tells us that only bicycles can go, pedestrians cannot use this road, and the cars also cannot use this road, and bicycles can go in the both direction. Okay, so let's take this next one, the road marking. And we will start with the simplest one, as a single continuous white lane, solid lane also we call them, but it has some different meanings, and we can start with the easiest one. For example, if you can see this on the right side of the road, of the carriageway, and in that case it will be showing us only the edge of the carriageway. Well, I can show you example. For example, this line here, it's simply shows us where the carriageway ends and where the shoulder begins. So usually it is marked like this on the highway, but in some places also in the city traffic. And this is for you if you want to make a stop on the highway. You cannot go do it outside of the city on this carriageway, so you have to go to the shoulder to take maximum to the right. So it's just simply indicating you the place where you can stop your car. So this is the edge of the carriageway, and of course if you're driving straight you cannot go behind that. You can stay within your lane, don't go farther than that, but you can cross that in all directions. Cross if it's on the side of the road, side of the carriageway.
Bicycles road is also divided the same way, right?
No, bicycles road is different. I will show you later how it's. And also this comb line, basically that's the same meaning, and why it has such a shape, because if you're driving on the highway on the high speed, if you accidentally start to cross that lane, your car will start to vibrate, so you will feel that you are going outside of the carriageway, so you have to go back. That's why. But also the same white line, it can go between the traffic lanes, or it can separate the traffic or oncoming lane. So you can see this white continuous lane or double continuous lane. this one in the middle, this is it. And in that case, it tells us do not cross. You see the same line, they look very, very alike, but actually the meaning is different, because this line you can cross, for example, if you want to make a stop, but this line, if it's between the traffic lanes, or if it's separating the traffic and oncoming lane, in that case you cannot cross that. Well, for example, I can show you here. See, this is the first one, line which shows the edge of the carriageway, so it means that there will be road ends here, and this line which separates the traffic and oncoming lane. In that case it's a double lane. And if we go a little bit more, I want to show you next one. And in that case we see again the white solid lane, but in that case that's separating both traffic lanes, so in that case you cannot cross it. So see, this can be very, very tricky for the first time, but for you it's important just to see where this line is visible. So if it's on the side of the road, in that case it's just showing, separating the edge of the carriageway, and by default you can't cross that. If it's between the two traffic lanes, then it means do not cross that. And if it's in the middle of the road, separating the traffic and oncoming lane, in that case also do not cross that. Okay, so let's take the next one. The next one is the okay, I also have to mention this breakable line. This one you can cross. You can change the lane, you can make you can overtake, and even if it's separating the traffic and oncoming lane, in that case also you can overtake, so you can cross this one. And you can also see in some places the combination with the continuous and the broken line. Well, that means that you can cross it only from one direction, and from direction of this broken line. So from that side, as it's shown here, you can cross that, but from our side you cannot. So you can go in and just wait a little bit. Give me like 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. Why do you think it's doing that like this?
Overpassing the cars.
It's mainly downhill or up.
If road is going uphill or downhill, in some places they put it like this, because well, for example, if the road is going downhill, you can see the road ahead, so you can decide if you can overtake or not, because you see what's happening. Will there be oncoming cars or not? And if you're driving, for example, like uphill, then the road is blocked, you cannot see that. So that's why on the same road, from one side there will be like a broken line, from our side there will be a continuous line. And also in some places where road is turning to the left or to the right, where there is a limited visibility, also in that case it can be. But for you it's important just to remember that if you're driving from side of a broken line, you can overtake. If you drive from a side of solid line, then you cannot. Traffic island, you cannot cross. It only shows the place where the road is divided into two, or maybe some traffic island ahead. So in that case you cannot cross this one. Broken line with short strokes, they are usually separated two traffic lanes, or maybe they can be separated traffic and oncoming lanes, and these ones allow you to make an overtake, so you can cross this one. Broken line with long strokes, well, I can show you maybe from the previous example where you can see this one. You can see this road marking in the places where this broken line turns into the solid line. So for example, we can see here, you see this is a regular broken line, but we already know that there will be a solid line ahead. So before that, you can see that road marking will be a little bit changed. So you can see this has a long strikes, for like here. So this one tells us that soon there will be solid lines, so you cannot cross, so it will be like your last chance to change the lanes. So in that place you can still change the lanes, but ahead when you will see this solid line here, you cannot change it. And yeah, like it's shown here, so it's before the solid line. And also this special the line with this white strokes, and this one separate the special line, so this can be a public transport lane, and this can be also the bicycle lane. You remember you asked me about the bicycle lane, so usually this is separated, this is like this one, and also it can be, well, here is one example, yeah. And also this can be a line for the acceleration, deceleration lane. So before on the highways, before the turn, before the crossroad, they usually keep some lane where you can slow down and make a turn safely. Or maybe if you're driving from the crossroads, so you can speed up to get the maximum allowed speed, and then you can change the lane in that case. So 3 cases where you can see this type of the road marking is the public transport lane, bicycle lane, or this acceleration or this deceleration lane. And this very interesting road marking is for the variable traffic. So that means that on the certain time period, this lane can be used in both directions. So it means, well, actually, well, for example, we have only one road, only one street. It's called the Gonsiori, and let's say from 6 in the morning till 12 in the midday, you can go in one direction, but after that you can go only in another direction.
There is also this green arrow.
Yeah, there's a special signs which tells you exactly.
Traffic light.
Yeah, which tell you exactly can you use this one or not. But we'll talk about next lesson. It's simply about the road marking. So if you see this type of the road marking, so you have to understand that the same lane can be used in both directions, and it's also regulated with a special sign, as you mentioned, this green arrow or this red cross, and then you have to check the sign and understand can you go or not. And then yellow line means no standing and no parking as well. This line means only no parking, so you can make a stop, but you cannot park your car. This one shows the public transport vehicle stop or the bus stop. This is the stop line, so if you see the stop sign or give way sign, that means showing the place where you can stop, where you should stop actually. And this is the place where you have to stop in order to give way. Or for example, this one is for the pedestrian crossing, so you have to stop here if you see some pedestrians want to cross the street. Also for the pedestrians, there can be arrow showing as direction, for example how to cross the street. Or maybe for pedestrians and for the bicycles, they can use this type of road marking, but basically that's the same. For example, like here. Or it can be like here, like this one. These blue ones lines showing that there is a paid parking. So if you see that, you have to check for the sign with information how much does it cost to park here, because or maybe in what time period it's a paid parking, because in some places it's not 24/7, but it may be in some specific days or maybe some specific time. For example, like from 8 to 6 it can be paid parking, but in the rest time it will be free, and maybe only for the working days. And this red line, it's a place for the speed limit. For example, like here, so you can see the speed limitation 30 kilometers per hour, and when it will end, the speed you can drive again with the regular speed. Or maybe this one, 2 double right lines, it shows the place where the calm traffic area begins. So we'll talk a bit later about the calm traffic area, what it is exactly. This road marking shows only the carriageway crossing area, so that means that you cannot stop on that, so you can have to stop before that, and then wait, for example, to the give way, and then you can go. So place where standing is not allowed as well. or maybe some arrows which shows you in which direction the lane goes. So maybe you can go only straight, or you have to make a right turn or to left turn, or maybe you can go in several directions. And do you know what this means?
It's the same type road, yeah?
Yeah, it means that there is no main road, or you don't have to give way, so there's a place where right-hand rule applied. So you have to give way to the cars which comes from the right side.
Right.
Because some students think that this means no entry. Actually, it's not, because it's a place where you can go in any directions. There is no limitations, but you have to follow right-hand rule. So there is some vehicle from the right side, you have to give way to him, or maybe he's on the left side, then he has to give way to you.
Or that you have this triangle as well, saying the same.
Yeah, that's the same. So in some places you can see only the sign, or you can see only the road marking, or you can see both, like in that picture. So, but the meaning is the same. It's a right-hand rule. This is the marking I didn't see anywhere in Estonia, but we do have this in the rules. So this is telling us that you are approaching the pedestrian crossing area. So you have to slow down a little bit. Again, the numbers of the road, it can be also as a road marking painted on the road, or maybe indicating that this is a special line, for example, for the buses only. In some places I have seen that they also put the speed limitation, like this red sign that is painted also on the road, reminding you about that. So a lane for the pedestrians only, for the bicycles only. Usually this is on the parking place, parking for the disabled people. Special speed limitations, and also these bombs which are telling you that slow down. So usually these are before the pedestrian crossing, or maybe some places where you have to, it's more advice for you to slow down. And this yellow one is also the same. And also road marking, well, this I think you have seen already in some streets, maybe outside of the city area. It's just simply they're illuminating, so they are showing you where the road edge. So if you're driving in the night times, you can see where the road is going, and in that case, you will not drive away from that road. And if you check, well, from the right side, there will be like. So this right one will have this kind of shape sign, like a one stripe, and from the left one it will have like two dots. So if you're driving in the night time, you can actually see where the left edge of the road and the right edge of the road is, as you can see it here. So this one is for the left side, this one for the right side, and this yellow one is for the right side, but it shows you the carriageway crossing on the highway. And this one is a carriageway crossing with the, let's say, with a private road. So maybe there is a farm or a private house, so you cannot go there. And this type of the road marking. Okay, so I think that this is it for today. So we will continue on the next lesson and speak about the driving modes. Also quite interesting topic. Do you have, by the way, do you have some questions regarding today's? No, everything is clear, yeah. But I will recommend you still to check this, to do some tests and check this information, because you see we've covered a lot of the additional panels, information signs, and also the road marking. So it will be definitely on the tests. Yeah. So thank you for attention. Okay, looking forward to see you next week. I don't know exactly, maybe me or Vadim will be, but anyway, the lesson will happen. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.